It's a great pleasure to welcome Epson to What's Next, and Timothy Thomas is the National Sales Manager for Epson South Africa. Firstly, how are you doing, Timothy? It's interesting times we're living in. We're just coming out of the pandemic. How's business been? How have the last 2 years treated Epson in South Africa?
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity today, Aki. It's been a interesting past 2 years. Obviously, no one could have predicted what was going to unfold, and we've been very fortunate that in many cases, despite what has been going on, our business really has moved forward quite significantly. I think if you look at today and the world that we live in, and the amount of time people are working from home, the solutions which Epson have been offering, is in particular within the home environment, have really appealed to the South African and Southern African consumer. And so we've been in a very fortunate position where we've been able to take advantage of that. And the last 2 years, despite some challenges, has really been a positive outcome.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I see that you guys have recently invested in a local warehouse. So if I'm not mistaken, this is a first. And this facility is situated out in Linbro Park, which is, where you find lots of similar warehouses. I mean, why was it essential for Epson to take this particular step?
So actually, we've been in the South African market for just over 20 years, and part of what we are looking for as we look forward to 2025 is our supply chain element. We source product from all over the world, different factories situated throughout the world, and a lot of the challenges with that is the long lead times to get stock. And so, as part of our growth and development plan, we invested into a local warehousing facility, really designed to help speed up supply to the market, and also, more importantly, to also support our partners, which make everything possible for us at the end of the day to get stock out to our consumers and our end users as well. So the warehouse facility is about 4,500 square meters, and really is designed for our future growth and expansion in the Southern African market.
Wow, that's fantastic. It's great to see such investments happening on South African soil. Talk to us through your recent partnership with Usain Bolt. When I saw that, I think that was a fantastic partnership, the fastest man in the world to promote cartridge-free printing, as well as why you chose Usain Bolt for this particular campaign, and why didn't you choose me? Because it's clearly I'm not as fast as Usain.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one for us, Aki. Sometimes I think printing can almost be described as maybe a little bit dull and boring sometimes. And so putting a face to it, which is probably one of the most recognizable faces in the world of sports today, is a partnership about really growing in particular, the eco-tank awareness. And so this is a major investment into really helping develop the eco-tank awareness in the South African market. And so Usain Bolt will bring that sort of fun, exciting element to it, and also help customers relate to the product on a more casual basis as well.
Well, listen, I'm one of those users of those eco tanks, and the yields are like mind-blowing, the amount of pages you can print. So well done on that technology. I mean, why did Epson partner with National Geographic, for example? I see you're very conscious of the environment. I mean, National Geographic's a great fit. And what do you hope to achieve through this particular collaboration with National Geographic?
Part of what Epson's always stood for is making sure that we as a business and a global company are doing everything we can around climate change and really supporting the environment. I think it's really important that we look forward to the future and the products that we make today, what impact they have on the environment. And so partnering with a partner like National Geographic gives us the ability to be able to continue to drive the message of climate change, make people aware of the challenges, but equally to highlight to customers and to end users how using Epson product can also help in any way, shape or form, but help change the outlook going forward. And so it's again, very much like Usain Bolt, it's a very recognizable brand, which hopefully will help drive that messaging into the future.
No, it's fantastic. When you look at businesses, so what kind of key steps can businesses take to protect our the environment and the what do you call it, the permafrost?
Yes. I think, when you look at what scientists have said about the permafrost challenge, there's a real concern that by the year 2100, that the entire permafrost would have melted. Now, the consequences of that are immense. And so, as part of these sort of partnerships, it really is about highlighting to businesses what they can be doing to help change some of that for the future. Now, in particular, there's a number of things businesses can do, but one of them, and it's really related to the products that we sell today. Everyone, whether they be in their home environment or in their businesses, in their corporate environment, use a printer in some way, shape or form on a daily basis. Now, with the technology which Epson promotes, it's very different to the traditional technologies which we've all become accustomed to over the years. Epson's inkjet technology is really focused around turning down the heat. And, that's the challenge with some of the more conventional, traditional printing solutions, is that they do generate a significant amount of heat. And by going with the Epson inkjet solutions, the heat which is generated from the machines is significantly less. And it's all about the small things that we can do. And so, turning down the heat, and whether that be on your printing device or whether that be on any other electronic solutions that you have within your business environment, it is all about reducing the heat which is emitted from these devices. And so, as part of the technology which Epson have really adopted in inkjet over the going forward into the future, this will really help try and alleviate some of these challenges for us going forward.
Very interesting. I mean, what else is Epson doing around reducing environmental impact on its products? I mean, reducing heat is one thing, but I imagine that the plastic that's used and, the cartridges and all those sort of things also are important.
Absolutely, and I think that's always been the one challenge with printing as a solution in a business environment, is the amount of waste which printing devices do generate. If you look at your traditional printer in the office, you often see the cartridges or the laser drums being replaced on a regular basis. Now that all leads to landfill at the end of the day, and so a lot of what Epson is focused on is, and you spoke about it just now with regards to the yields that you get on your EcoTank printer. That really does make a difference to the environment, is the reduction of waste which is created through the inkjet technology. And so therefore it all plays a small part of protecting the environment and doing what we can, both from an Epson perspective, but also trying to help support our partners and our customers which are investing into the product by giving them solutions which have less of an impact on the environment.
That's fantastic. I'm loving what I'm hearing and how seriously you guys are taking the environment and the responsibility. It's a massive responsibility. We recently learned about your climate barometer survey findings. I mean, who would have heard a printer company doing a climate barometer finding of this kind? Now tell us, I mean, why was it crucial for Epson to conduct this particular survey, and what were the results? Is there anything that really surprised you with that survey?
Okay, I think this really does speak to Epson's investment into driving awareness around climate change, and the climate barometer was really about trying to get an understanding of the South African environment and how people perceive climate change. What do they understand about climate change, and what they can be doing to help change it. Now, in South Africa, We're a country which is always been great at driving change and wanting to see change, and we have a long history about that. And out of the survey, it was really encouraging about how South Africans wanted to support climate change and what they could be doing equally, and whether that be in their personal capacity, whether that be in their public capacity. It was all about what they could be doing to help drive change. And so there was a lot of findings to come out of it. And it really does also speak back to some of our partnerships, in particular around National Geographic, which will help us continue over the years to really drive the awareness around climate change and what we are doing as a business to be able to make a difference at the end of the day.
Well, listen, well done. I think it's a great initiative. I mean, we touched on earlier about the pandemic and how it's just changed everybody's lives, and how countless companies were forced to send their people working remotely. Would you say that this affected the influence and the sale of your EcoTank products? And I'm thinking about it now because we spoke about it earlier, and after our conversation, I guess companies also think it's a responsible thing to do. You've got to allow people to print, but get something that's eco-friendly and has got a maximum yield.
We've been very fortunate that through the pandemic we've been able to really provide a value solution to the South African consumer. It really is what the InkTank technology is really based on, about providing a value to the consumer. I've always been a firm believer that the South African consumer in particular does understand real value. They do appreciate real value, and that really is what EcoTank is about. It's about giving the consumer a solution where they can get up to 6.5 to 8,000 pages out the box when they purchase it. Now, again, when you go back 5 or 10 years, a lot of people are used to the traditional ink cartridge printing solution, and they'd buy it, and within a month they'd have to be replacing the cartridges. The cartridges would cost the same as what the printer cost, and so it really did create almost a negative connotation towards printing at one stage. And so this really is a step in providing consumers with the ability to be able to print, and whether that be through having to work from home today, or whether that be in their personal capacities. I've got two teenage boys who are at school, and I still see the amount of homework that comes with it, and so there's a lot of printing. And rather than having to really manage your print number of prints, you can now just continue to print really effortlessly without the weight of having to run out of ink at the worst time on a Sunday evening, as an example. Now you're getting so many yields and pages in a box that it really does support customers, both from a value proposition, but also, again, speaking heavily towards the lessened impact that it has on the environment.
When you look at the Epson Women in Business event in 2021, very successful. How is Epson going to advocate for equal opportunity employment and of course the acknowledgement of females and women in the workplace in 2022?
It's a really important aspect of what we drive, both locally in South Africa, but also globally as a business as well. I think traditionally, if you look at the printing industry and the IT industry, it has always traditionally been quite a male-dominated environment, and we don't hide away from that fact. It's really about what we can do today to be able to help change that for the future. And so we're really proud of the fact that within Epson South Africa at the moment, we have over 50% of our team at the moment is female. Our management team, also over 50% of our management team are female as well, and that really gives us a great balance on our business, and really gives us different insights and the way that we do things. And so it's really great to see women in business really starting to get involved in businesses and industries which have maybe traditionally been male dominated. So it really is a great step in the future for us.
That's great to hear. I mean, what's Epson going to do to continue raising the public awareness on the impacts of climate change? Now, you've highlighted some fantastic initiatives that you've been working on, that you've implemented, but 2022, and this is the year, and after the release of the Climate Reality Barometer last year, what's next this year for climate change and the kind of awareness that you've been on this journey?
A lot of it actually will be focused around education. Like many products and consumer electronics products that we deal with today, a lot of it is driven off word of mouth. You have a great experience, your perception of a technology or an industry changes, and so that spreads by word of mouth. And so a lot of what we'll be focused on is really helping to drive the education element, making people aware of the different technologies, because that's really what the story is about. It's about the different technologies that Epson are investing in for the future. We are very clear that inkjet and ink tank are the solutions for the customer and for the end user for years to come. We don't do a hybrid solution. We focus on what we believe is the best value proposition. And so a lot of the focus will be around educating consumers, debunking the myths around certain technologies, and really helping drive that value solution and messaging to the consumer as well.
That's fantastic. And I imagine also from an R&D perspective, you're going to look at how you can increase those yields even further. It's astonishing what you've been able to achieve. As one of the world's largest manufacturers of computer printers, you look at those cutting-edge products and the R&D that you guys are spending. What can consumers expect from Epson this year?
It's an exciting year ahead, after, especially with the challenges that the world has been through over the last few years. We really do have an exciting offering both in the home solutions as well as in the business solutions of product that is coming down, which will now really start meeting a wider install base and a base which offers more variety to the consumer and end user as well. So this year, you'll see both across home and business solutions quite a large introduction of new models to be able to really cater for many different needs, which is great in this environment as well, because it's a hybrid world that we live in today. And so being able to offer so many multiple different solutions will hopefully really appeal to the end user and to the consumer as well.
Fantastic. Well, I look forward to playing with those products that come out throughout the year. Thank you for joining us on What's Next, Timothy, and really appreciate your time. Timothy Thomas is the National Sales Manager for Epson South Africa, telling us about their business in South Africa, talking about, the environment and what they're doing going forward, and of course, what's next. And are their yields going to increase substantially? I've got a feeling about this one. Timothy, thank you for joining us. Great to see you.
Aki, thank you for your time.